How frustrating is this, man? The teams worse than the Cowboys in 2024 shoot back to the top. Seattle was 60-1 to reach the Super Bowl at the start of the season. They were fourth worst odds. I think it's one of the four longest shots you've had of the century to get in there. So, organizations win championships. That's kind of what I was poking around on there with the Sam Darnold thing, and you have to credit their personnel department a lot. John Schneider, check this out, the first GM in NFL history to reach multiple Super Bowl teams with the same franchise while having a completely different coaching staff and roster. Nobody was the same. He's the first guy to ever do that. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that has a real understanding of what he needs for his team, what he needs at coaches, how to kind of put things together. He's not afraid to move on from people. He's okay with the criticism that he gets. He does like to draft running backs at an alarming rate, which is something that is always been his downfall. But no, that's what John does. He understands how this league works and what needs to be done in order to get your team in position to play in these games. So, I like to say way back in the day when, in the early 90s, when he was just coming out of St. Thomas College there in Minneapolis, that you could say, oh, wow, this was going to be maybe a potentially multiple Super Bowl winner as a general manager. I can't say I'd say that, but I did see a guy that wasn't afraid to have an opinion, wasn't afraid to fight for his guys, and was just a great teammate to be around because he was always thinking how to make things better for the team. And, clearly he's done that in all his years in Seattle.
Yeah, the drafting element of it, right?
He sucks at it sometimes, though. He sucks at drafting.
Look, everybody's going to have misses.
Oh, no, he'll mess it up.
The first and second round for the last 5 years has been really good.
Oh, yeah.
In the running backs, you're right, but hey, Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker are a big reason why they're here. And
Absolutely.
then you lose Zach Charbonnet, you still have Kenneth Walker to maintain your rushing success. So, I don't think that's something that's been a huge negative for him. And they did it where it wasn't just the draft, but DeMarcus Lawrence, you hit on that free agent. Cooper Kupp, you hit on that free agent, right? So it goes back to all the various elements we've talked about with team building.
Their coach.
And absolutely. And they go coach. Pete Carroll to Mike McDonald, and that's after Mike Holmgren. They've done an excellent job there when it comes to identifying the right coaches and ballsy moves when it comes to Geno Smith. All right, Geno's not doing that. Let's go ahead and let's make it happen with Sam Darnold. And like I mentioned earlier, they put in the buffer in the contract where if it didn't work out, they were kind of covered there. Now you're in a situation where I would imagine Sam Darnold and his agent are going to try and go back to the drawing board and throw that contract out. But if they don't, then you're sitting pretty with a Super Bowl champion quarterback that's not costing you market value. So they're in a really good position with a lot of young, awesome talent there in Seattle.
Yeah. They team build in so many amazing ways. Schneider, obviously you when you win a Super Bowl, it buys you so much time, but they've been committed to him. They're just, even from an ownership standpoint, like they're not going to let one bad draft or two down sort of years just move off a GM. How often does that happen? It happens at a ridiculous rate where GMs, head coaches, quarterbacks, you're moving off them even when they're still really good at what they do. Schneider's fantastic. He does it through the draft, but also through the trades. Ernest Jones at the trade deadline last year, he's their linebacker who's a stud. And then Rashid Shaheed also at the deadline. They weren't scared to trade DK Metcalf, right? They're not scared to move on from Geno Smith, like you mentioned.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. Absolutely.
Their timing of getting rid of guys is really, Earl Thomas was a player that I think a lot of people looked at and was like, he can still play. Well, he was never quite the same when Seattle said, hey, we're moving on here. Russell Wilson, the exact same way. Denver's looking at him like we got ourselves a franchise quarterback. Schneider's laughing and thinking this dude can't play anymore. So they've done a good job. Like we used to praise New England for kind of once they moved on from a player, there's a red flag. Everyone should kind of be thinking, what's up here? Where's the bag of hair? Why are they moving on from said player? Seattle's kind of looking at that reputation right now and building that as well.
They're doing a hell of a job, and there are quite a few differences between the two teams, but a couple of things they have in common. Number one, defensive head coach, and I don't think, I guess this will be the second defensive coach over the last 7 or 8 years to win the Super Bowl, with the other one being Bill Belichick. But I think the way that that's important for the Cowboys is neither one of these teams have decided that one side of the ball can just not be invested in. And the Cowboys have clearly done that. They've missed, and then they haven't thrown money at it to bring in enough good players. They've let quality players go on the defensive side of the ball. It's almost like the Joneses look at it like, well, we'll try to have a good defense if we get lucky, but we're not really going to be proactive in making sure that comes to life. And I think that takes me to the other thing that both of these teams have in common, and it's owners who are willing to just stay the bleep out of the way so football people can do their jobs.
Amen. And that's what you see time and time again. I mean, Robert Kraft, are you kidding me? Like, he's back here again, and there's plenty of good luck that comes with it. Anytime you're in a Super Bowl, and when you look at the Patriots specifically, like, there's plenty of good luck involved, but there's also just putting football people in places to make the football decisions, and that's not something we'll ever get.
So for New England specifically, they matched the 99 Rams as a 4-win team to go to the Super Bowl the next year. Clearly, the right head coach matters. But, they invested across the board, bringing in guys, and Josh McDaniels coming back, a proven Super Bowl level coordinator. Even though he's not running the in vogue offense, he definitely, has the resume and a track record to evolve. And then Drake May is just a cheat code of a quarterback. I said on Friday, I tried to bring up a game plan where he rushed for 125 yards, and he could have. What did he end up getting? 80 or so? And a
65.
lot of those massive runs for first downs. But another key hire for the Patriots that I read about today, John Stryker. You guys hip to this dude? He has garnered the nickname Stretch. He was given the title of Vice President of Football Operations and Strategy. And here's what happened. He spent time under Vrabel in Tennessee in a lot of roles, but last year he worked with Sean McVay as the team's game management coordinator. Stryker has brought experience and stability to a Patriots roster that desperately needed it. So he's advising things on the roster from at least 1 year of a Rams background, and then managing game day as he did with the Rams last year. And he's watching and updating in real time what the team should be trying to mitigate that the opponent is trying to do, and giving strategic suggestions to the head coach, game management coordinator with the Rams last year. And, I think he might be like their modern day version of that old Rain Man they had up in the booth, Ernie Adams, that was helping Bill Belichick. And I believe Shoddy has a dude like this, right? I forget his name, but he's got like a right-hand man. What's that?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. But, I think this Stryker dude is about to become a significant part of the Patriots story. Maybe we'll get a chance to read more about his journey and what makes him.
Did we lose him?
We might have.
Uh-oh.
I thought maybe it was just my ears. Maybe they were low, but no, we can't hear Gavin. We lost Gavin there for a second, I think. Maybe
what I did.
He's back. He's back. He hit the mic.
Back.
He might have hit the mic.
I got the dang mic that you hit the thing and it mutes.
Yep. Nope. I've been there many a times. Trust me. Brian knows that whenever we record Love of the Star, Eric and I will be known to do that from time to time. You just hit that thing and all of a sudden it mutes it.
I was anticipating that was going to happen at least once or twice during today's show, but I'll try to keep my hands off the damn microphone. Okay, Klayton Adams was requested to interview with the Eagles. They were even going to give him play calling. Is it true that he said, I don't even want to go there? Cowboys, please turn this down. That's what I read on Twitter. I'm waiting for a verification of this story, but I just love that the Eagles are taking L's as the Cowboys are taking their coaches. Nobody wants this job. Eagles OC might be less desired than Cleveland Browns head coach right now, boys.
It's hilarious. Like, those are the two jobs everyone is saying, hey, I'm good here. I'm pulling out of the running. You just had so many names, like Bears offensive coordinator Declan Doyle. He was the latest one to say, I'm good. He's withdrawing his name from consideration for the Eagles. They're now having to look at maybe trying to poach your guy at LSU, Brian. They're going after Charlie Weiss Jr. possibly to interview him.
He said he doesn't want it either.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone that they're asking is like, no, I'm good. Jalen Hurts sounds like a total diva, and I don't want to be anywhere near that A.J. Brown decision.
Yeah, the quarterback's done as a top-tier player. The head coach is on the hot seat. The running back is washed. The O-line is heading towards no longer being top 5 for sure, maybe washed. And then their salary cap situation is worse in the NFL. I have a feeling there's more to this story, and I can't wait to unpack it here as this offseason continues. But I mean, I think if you go work in Philly right now, you're signing up to be part of their collapse that they sort of voluntarily went into as a way of, trying to make sure they could win another Super Bowl. And, it really paid off for them in a big way. I think if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm very happy with this magical carpet ride that we've been on for the last 8 years. I mean, even as a Rangers fan or as a Mavericks fan, like 2011 and 2023 will continue to nourish you and give you satisfaction. But I wonder, like, internally inside the NFL, if the word is out that Philadelphia is just a sinking ship, and if you do take that job, that you're just going to be turning it over and having to move your family again here in the next 12 months or so.